One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family, one people, one planet, one love. One family.
Good morning and welcome to SoulCall Sunday Live, coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. We are at the American Institute of Alternative Medicine building. We are SoulCall Live. This morning we have our part of our illustrious Kirtan group. Let's hear it for our live. Yeah. If you are in the Columbus area, please feel free to join us this coming Wednesday, September 21st, the autumnal equinox. We will be out at the Dempsey Event Center in Delaware doing a live Kirtan and chanting. It'll be the first of our series. Every third Wednesday of every month, we will be there. And so you can come and chant live with us in a beautiful space with lots of fresh air and beautiful surroundings, and the energy is great. So this is just going to give you just a little taste, as they say, just a little taste. But we welcome you from wherever you are. Please let us know where you're joining us from in the country or different parts of the world. It's nice to know that you're with us from all over the place, helping us to create a conscious global community. And it is our deepest intention to help nourish that consciousness as we explore what it's like to dance around the perimeter of the outer edge of knowing, is where we can grow the most. So it takes great courage to do that. It's not for the faint of heart. And what ours is we offer opportunities to help you along that spiritual path, to feel like you've got that strength to sustain you through the times that'll help you grow in what's necessary right now in these changing times. So today, the theme for the month is stepping in. Stepping in. And so the talk for today was, I was starting to think about this morning. It's about how our habits co-create habitat. So we're going to talk about the mental habitat and the habits that create our mental environment as it pertains to the world in which we live, which is also a habitat based on habit. The way we live is the way we think. And so just looking at that, exploring that a little bit, and then how Kirtan and chanting can help us to evolve that consciousness, to break through the limitations of habit and allow ourselves to grow more fully into the consciousness we were born with, as that little seed of the soul that wants to grow and go and go and go. Okay, so that's what's coming today. So we thank you for joining us. And this morning we're going to begin, as we begin every SoulCall Sunday, with the practice of Qigong, which helps us to connect our mind, the consciousness with the mind, with the will, with the body, pulling in the energy that helps us to recognize how powerful we are and how much we have a say over how things go. So this morning we've got Sifu Helen Yi here. Right, she happens to be here playing the bongo, and now she's going to do Qigong. Welcome, Helen.
Thank you, Lisa.
And if you're in the room and you want to stand up and participate, find yourself spread out a little.
Okay, good morning, everyone. And as Lisa was saying, where the mind goes, the chi flows, because the mind is very powerful. And, just a little reminder of knowing that. And so here, today I want to kind of awaken our energy points and channels. So from here, go ahead and bring your fingers up to the face and just kind of tap on those meridian points on the face, on the forehead, onto the top of the head, kind of awakening the byway, the crown chakra, coming back to the back of the skull, into the occipital ridge, and then back on to the side of the face. From here, hands like cups, and awaken the meridian channels and vessels that travel along the extremities. And from here, hands like fists. We're going to go ahead and awaken down onto the legs, all the way down. Hit the instep a few times, coming back up on the inside of the leg. This is all yin and yang related. And then hit the back of the kidney area. This is the gateway of life. Okay. Now just relax into your body's rhythm, feeling the vibration, vibrating. And now closing your eyes, taking a deep inhale, filling the lungs, and then slowly exhaling. Doing that again, breathing in and breathing out, getting all that oxygen in and out. And from here, go ahead and bring your awareness inside the body. Feel the connection of all that is to your microcosmic universal chi, intermingling within the spaces and the places of our bodies, bringing your hands, the palms, touching the lower dantian, the battery center. Feel the connection. Continue to be aware of your breathing. And from here, relaxing the shoulders, relaxing the hands down, engaging the lao gongs of the palms by bending the wrist, connecting to the yin earth energies, absorbing it into the lao gongs like magnets, drawing it into the shoulders, allowing it to travel into the meridian channels and vessels. Feel the rootedness of your feet to the earth energy. And now relax the wrists and floating the arms up with the palms facing skyward. Inhaling, and allow the lao gongs to draw in the yang energy of sky and heaven. Collecting it and bringing it into the byway. Feel it connecting. Feel all the particles of the chi coming into the byway. And now slowly relax your elbows, guiding the chi down into the central meridian channel of the body. Feel and see the golden light of life force energy coming into the body, radiating into the cells, nourishing the organs, the systems of the body. Feel it coming in, breaking up any blockages, any stagnations. Feel it going deep into the bone marrow, where red blood cells are produced, into the lymph, where white blood cells circulate. And then relaxing the shoulders. From here, gathering the chi in the horizon. Feel the particles collected between the hands. And then slowly with your mind, concentrate all those chi particles into a strong chi ball, bringing it into the lower dantian for storage. Squeezing the perineum, bringing your heart arms down to the sides and down, bringing this feeling of tranquility and harmony with you throughout the day. Thank you.
Now just finding a comfortable position to be in for meditation. And we're going to step right into a practice of kirtan chanting. Just feeling the energy pulsing, following your breath. Just if you know a meditation posture, you may use it. If you know a mantra, you may use it. But we're going to offer one. It's called Door of My Heart. Open wide I keep for thee. It's in meditation, it's suggested that you keep your palms turned upward at the juncture of the thighs and the abdomen. It's receptivity mode, and it's closest to the spine, where all those electrical currents of life, the lifetrons and thoughttrons of the infinite, kind of pulsate up and down our spines, very subtle. And lifting the point, the gaze to the point between the eyebrows, trying to keep the spine straight, up above the world of duality, entering into that 1,000-petaled lotus of the brain area, the seat of all knowing and intuition. And once you catch on to the chant, you're welcome to sing it. But if not, you can just mentally sing it inward. It's Door of my heart, open wide I keep for thee. allow ourselves to awaken to a greater awareness of what is possible as we become more like the Creator itself, opening wide our hearts to allow the wisdom of the soul to flow more freely through the construct of our beautiful human form. There is no limitation. The only limitation is imitation. And may we awaken each day with a new mind, one that is open to potential, to create something new, to refine our thinking, which informs our loving. May we be that sacred vessel of infinite light. Bless us, O infinite and mighty one, with the grace of patience, the poise of purpose, we may dance with joy to the music of the spheres. When you're ready, bring your attention back to the room you're sitting in, or the kitchen counter you're standing at, taking that sip of coffee. Hopefully, thank you to our beautiful kirtan group. You may be seated so we don't see you yawning and nodding while I'm talking. I'm trying to squeeze one more, like another week or two out of linen, but I look at it online and it looks like a wrinkle in time. I'm wearing my interdimensional fold right here for all of you. So how's everybody doing?
Good.
You doing all right?
Good.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I love it gives us permission to seek and start looking more and diving more deeply, stepping more fully into that inner world, doesn't it? Like we see what came through the burst of spring. There's that restlessness we feel when spring hits, because all around us, there's not nature and us. We're all part of it. So there's no separation there. And I know that's a basic thought that we all understand. But once we more fully realize we're part of the planet, we are part of nature itself. It affects us. We affect it. It's a relationship. So today, what I was thinking about this morning, we are creatures of habit. Do you believe that? Are we? So if that's true, I think we become creatures of habit is what I'm going to say. I don't think it is in our divine nature to be a creature of habit. I think we are taught that, and it gets perpetuated over and over and over again. A simple illustration. This morning, I get up as I do most mornings, and it's early and the sun is just starting to come up. And that's when I sit in my round, it's called a cuddler, and it spins in a full circle because that's the way my living room is situated. I can't make up my mind whether I'm going to look at the fireplace rip roaring, which is not very useful in the summer, or out of this beautiful picture window into my backyard, which is everything. So we got a round situation. So I'm sitting there looking out right before the sun comes up because I'm looking for the possum, who is usually making its way back to. And so I recognized I was a creature of habit. I started looking because it generally comes from this side of the yard and goes to that side. That's where I look first. And this morning I almost missed her because that's not where she came from. But out of the corner of my eye, she came from the other yard this time. So out of my creature of, I recognized what a creature of habit I am, looking at a creature that is a creature of habit, but doesn't mean it does the same thing all the time, right? So I started to think about which habits are the ones I do all the time. I have a habit of being clean and tidy, but I don't do it in a way where it's like compulsively exactly the same all the time, but I make sure it gets done. Are you following me?
Yes.
Okay, so with permission to do some things that are habitual on a different timeline, I started to contemplate what else can I do differently? And what else do I do on a regular basis that can support my flexibility with the way I do other things? Are you following my curly mind? What I arrived at was meditation is the thing that I am definitely habitual about, that has the most impact in a positive way on my habitat. So I invite you to just contemplate for a minute, which of your habits has a positive effect on your habitat, on the things which sustain you. Like, so if we're looking at animals, a Habitat for Humanity, there's a whole formula Habitat for Humanity has to make sure you have the basic needs. They make sure people have a place to live, roof over your head, clothes on your back, food to eat. Those are the basics. We do those differently every day too, right? Do we eat the same thing? Every Monday I have this, every Tuesday I have that, every Wednesday, every day I eat macaroni. That could be a habit. Is that, okay, so if you think about the things that we have as habits, I even change up my little, Candy knows how much I love sweets in the morning, just a little bit with my cup of coffee. It's an Italian thing. It's a habit, but I don't have the same thing. Like, so I move with when the Girl Scout cookies are out, I have something for like a month and a half. Then I move it into, but I changed some of those things. But which are the things, then I started to think about, we're into this coming week is the second week of our Holy Science class. And this first week was the introduction. And this week coming up, we're talking about the body and the constructs of the body and what is happening when the body lofts things up into our consciousness. A craving, right? A craving for a thing. If it's a craving for a thing that we've just gotten used to having, but what if it's not good for us anymore? Or we can't have it as often as we crave it. Can you think of a thing or 10? I can think of a couple. Okay, so what do we do then? Which habits of our mind, our mental habitat, will support governing the physical habitat with saying, not today. We can't do that today. But if we don't do it today, we could do it in 3 weeks and really enjoy it. And every part of our being will be nourished and happy. And when we take the next step, it will be in full alignment. And when we take steps that are in full alignment with body, mind, spirit, all in one, we started talking about this last week, spirit and nature, and focusing on the 3 elements that most make up the human organism, body, mind, spirit. When those 3 things are lined up, it's so much easier to derive more joy, the inherent seed of our soul, because everything's firing on all cylinders. Chung, 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 chung. Therefore, we have the apparatus to communicate with the spheres, and for it, more importantly, to communicate with us. It's not always us sending something out, sending out an SOS, right? That's fine, but you don't have to send out an SOS if we know how to listen from within, that silence of our soul. This is where I get really jazzed, and this is leading into the invitation once again, if you're anywhere in the area on Wednesday, to come meditate with us in our kirtan chanting. When we chant the divine names of the infinite, or with all of our heart, it starts to open the door of the soul. And from that doorway, we derive more of the joy inherent in the soul. It can spill out. It can spill out. When we sing only to fill up the cells, as Helen was talking about with that chi, we could feel it. Did you all feel the tingle inside? Did you feel that at home? The more we can come alive with that tingling, the more we have an effect on the consciousness of the global community. So right now, when we live in the world of duality, we only see this and that. There's this and there's that. But when we recognize that the infinite is known to all as thou art that, it's everything. So there's nothing that's really in opposition to the true nature of what we are. It is we who create that idea of separation and incoming, but it's our nature to be still and listen, be still and know that I am God, that I am Goddess, that I am, be still and know. If we stopped right there, that's the knowledge that is not linear from a book. It's the wisdom of the soul. And you'll start to notice where these thoughts come from. They'll start to be lofted from the inside out. So I was thinking about this. Many of you know I love to write music. It's the best music that comes through me is the stuff that I'm listening, not even listening for it. It's not even an intention. I'm just offering my entire being to the infinite. And all of a sudden it starts singing to me. It does the same for all of us in its own way. It's that thing that makes us most feel shing, zing, 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 zing. Like looking for the possum. Now what I do, tomorrow I realized I'm not going to look in the same place for the possum. I'm just going to look in the yard and see where it comes from and be as happy. But when I'm looking for it, if it's in tune with me, it might even be like codependent enough to try to rearrange its circuit to come the way I'm looking for it. I don't care where it comes from. I just want to see it. Every time I see it, I get so joyful, right? Think of people like that. I don't care what they're doing. I just want to be around them. Whatever. It's just so much fun. Babies are like that, right? Little ones, tiny little ones are just so fun. So thinking about this too, how many of you are into, and forgive me, I can't even believe I'm going to say it, Wordle. Okay, nobody got caught on. It's in the New York Times. It's where the games are. I never play the games in New York Times. I usually just scroll just to see what's happening, but I don't even do that all the time. And I kept seeing friends post on their social media what their Wordle score was. So you get 5 tries to guess a 5-letter word that it starts off with blank boxes, and then you type in the first word you think maybe it is, and it'll show you how many letters you got right. And if you got them in the right letter in the right place, it shows up green in the block. So, okay, you got one. So I started to think about, as I noticed, as I was reading some other book, I started recognizing 5-letter words more. Right? This is the point of the Wordle thing. I started recognizing, oh, there was a construct, a scaffolding of some mind mechanism, because I'm thinking of 5-letter words all the time now. I'm recognizing them all the time now. That was a mental construct. And it was so subtle, and I probably pay more attention maybe than some people, but I noticed what my mind was doing when I was reading. Oh, there's a 5-letter word. No, I wasn't intentionally looking to go study 5-letter words. But just as I'd gotten into the habit of Wordle, my mentality situated itself, it reconstructed itself to better support my endeavor to be really good at that. And who cares? It's just a little game. But the point was fascinating. If my mind could do something, because it's just a little joyful thing I do, what else can my mind do if I put something else in it to derive joy from something else that might be more, I don't even want to say meaningful. Everything doesn't have to be for the purpose of saving the world. That's not it, because saving the world could just be showing up joyful. And if that's what if Wordle makes you happy and it makes you show up happy that you got Wordle, do it. But what I'm saying is the mind, everything about our organism is just saying, yes, yes. Does that make you happy? Have more. Have more. How much more can we expand our consciousness to the sphere of influences of joy and bliss if we allow it to spread out past the things that other people bring to us for joy and allow the infinite to show us some other things. You see what I mean? If something as simple as this little game can do it, imagine what the infinite can do in your mind all day, creating, if all you thought about was God, source, love. Literally, the scaffolding, the structures of your mind would be blown and something bigger could take place. So again, you've heard me say SoulCall is more, it's not so much about the new thought movement at all as it is about the no thought movement. The more we don't push an idea out into something, it'll definitely come back. But how do we push our only thought, intention, vibration to be more receptive, more listening? You know, everything in nature, when you go to the ocean, I remember sitting with a brilliant scientist. His name is Jay Harmon, and he's written books and he's created designs based on mimicking nature, which is called biomimicry. It's a fancy word saying imitating the way nature does it. And he's devised all of these different ways of having ships move at sea using designs that the way nature would move water through its natural systems, instead of us doing it like, yeah, pushing, you know, the male nature of like, let's push it, let's do it. And nature does it the way it does it. Everything coalesces and does. But he was telling us, when you're standing on the ocean, this receptivity mode is what I'm getting at. To be receptive is more powerful than to push. If you look at babies, again, one of the most natural motions a baby does, it's harder for them to do this than it is to do this. And the reason is it's so that they can bring food to their mouth, bringing it in. All of our senses are bringing information in. So the more it's bringing it into what? I would say into what? Into where? Into how? I put food in my mouth and my body digests it. I'm not doing anything. I'm not sitting down mentally saying, okay, now stomach, here comes the lasagna. You know what I mean? I told you it's coming. You know, we don't think like that. It knows the way. If we can trust these basic body mechanisms to know the way, allowing ourselves to be more receptive. When we're sitting at the ocean, back to Jay Harmon, and you feel the breeze, it feels like the breeze is blowing. And he said, no, it's because nature, the earth, is sucking the wind into it. So he used to, this, pardon me for the, if this is vulgar, but he used to have t-shirts that said, nature sucks. So you would come up to him and say, what do you mean? And then he would tell you what he means. Well, did you know? The wind doesn't blow in from the ocean. It's nature pulling it. It's bringing it in, bringing it in, bringing it in. More on, if you look up Jay Harmon, he's a brilliant, I might try to cite a book of his. I can't remember what it is, but he works for PAX Scientific, P-A-X, Scientific, brilliant. More things like that. You think about all of the rivers run into the ocean, right? Everything, rivers run into the stream, into the streams, into the rivers, into the oceans. Everything that is receptive, there's the potential for greater things if we can receive. So I think about that too. What kind of good is trying to get in that we're not even conscious we're keeping out? Just do a little assessment on your own. Is something trying to get in that is not looking the way you would have had it come to you? And then you take a step back and you say, my goodness, there it is. Anyone? Everybody's staring off in here. If you could see everybody in the room, we're all like, Jesus, how does she's looking? Why is she looking right at me when she says that? But just thinking about it. Yeah, and one of the greatest and most effective things, as I said, is to reach beyond the impulse, and the mind habit is silent meditation. It brings forth from the inner world the soul's creative spark, is what I say. And it brings forth, as I also say, the intelligence of the infinite. Meditation. Bringing forth the intelligence of the infinite since the beginning of time. If that were a commercial for God, right? Get yours today by doing nothing, buying nothing. You already have it. So, Circle of Love Gathering is another opportunity we're bringing. I'm so happy to be bringing this to a home zone for me for the first time in 20 years. It's been all over the world, and now it's coming here, and it's a completely experiential retreat. Meaning, if you're up for just sitting in a room and having somebody tell you all about it, please don't. You will not like this retreat. If you want to experiment with different ways to augment your already fantastic spiritual practice, I have no doubt, join us for Circle of Love Gathering, October 14th through the 16th. So we'll start in the evening on Friday with just getting juiced. You'll meet David Leonard. We'll all talk about some things that we're going to do, but then we're going to go deep into an immersion of just music. Jesse Powers is going to join us. Jack Fowler, Natalia Zuckerman will be here. We're going to just get those cells kind of tuned is how we would do it. And then Saturday morning, we'll start in just another experiential practice. We'll break out and we'll have some movement, some music. Helen will be there with Qigong. Natalia will have a movement piece. We'll have a giant mandala with Kathy Rausch, just a group mandala. So whatever you're feeling, you just can go sit in the silence and do it. No one will talk to you if you don't want to. Lots of grounds to sit and allow things to sink in. Delicious, nourishing food. On Saturday, we'll provide lunch and dinner. It's just an opportunity for us to offer what we have found can help. Tune in the body part, tune in the mental part, listen to the spiritual part. It's like the tuning fork of life right there. And so then Sunday morning, SoulCall Sunday Live, that Sunday the 16th will be out at the Dempsey Event Center, live from the sanctuary space with all of us. Again, it's going to be amazing. Jack Fowler, if you like the song, "In the Silence There Is Peace," you've heard his greatest hits. He's hilarious and deep, deep well. So he'll be with us also. So there's going to be a little immersion to help jumpstart into the time we go within with nature. How many of you felt, I was talking to somebody the other day who just said, all I want to do is sleep right now. I just feel tired. I love this time of year, so I like to be out in it, but then like around when it's starting to get darker more, don't you just want to kind of like curl up with a book or nothing? I just want to close my eyes and meditate, play the harmonium. Pay attention to that. And it's nature's way of saying, get with the program, you know, and the habit will be to allow yourself to go in to experience universal consciousness. We are not limited in any way here. So there's the invitation from my heart to yours, signed and sealed with a kiss. And just recognizing how to be in the world, how we are being in the world affects what we are seeing in the world. How we be is how we see, is what I say. So let's perfect our being. You know, I find it interesting. I was just thinking about this right this second. I never thought about it quite like this before, but you know, we need the bees to keep nature alive, pollinating. If something happens to the bees, we're all pretty much doomed. Life as we know it is just not going to happen. So we need those bees, and those bees need us, we bees, right? Yeah. So it's about being right now and practicing more of that internal world. You know, as I was reading something the other day talking about how the rhinoceros, even when they were trying to procreate, they were trying to make sure there were more of the rhinoceros, that species, because they were becoming extinct. Now they're still almost extinct. They're down to 2. And they're going to try to, you know, do the sperm and the egg thing and try to grow some more. But what they were saying is the reason they're extinct is not because of some flaw in nature. It's because we keep, as humans, taking away their habitat to build more shopping malls. What do you need? We all need things. We need some things, but let's do our best to pay attention, be mindful of what we participate with, and to get active sometimes. You know, it's not always, I think people are starting to wake up and realize that like being spiritual doesn't mean you don't ever say anything. No, it means when you do say something, you can move the mountains with it, and not to put another strip mall. It's to shake up the consciousness of what's happening out of its, you know, I don't know, if we keep playing in the construct of other people's thoughts and ideas, we really are stuck in a habitat that does not support us. So being careful with which things we do once and whatever we repeat more than once. I'm getting a little intense about it because it's that serious. Habits are real, and the body doesn't know. It just wants to. If it likes it, it'll crave it. But when the body tells you something is off, we have to listen to that too, right? When it says, "I don't want that anymore. Please stop doing that." So, paying attention is meditation. Being. Do that scan with qigong. It helps us to pay attention to what's going on. Sending the body love. This, waking it up. You can just do this, love, 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 love. Light, 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 right? So, being is seeing, paying attention to our mental construct, our mental habitat, because it helps facilitate our physical habits. So body, mind, spirit. Join us Wednesday, and we're going to give you another little taste of a song called Spirit and Nature. And then we'll meditate for another minute, and then we'll wrap it up with some fabulous announcements that you're not going to want to miss. Right? Let's bring it back our mini kirtan team. We've got a couple more. If you're interested in being in our kirtan, see me after or send me an email, info@soulcallglobal.org. All right, this one is Spirit and Nature. Take one. I always forget the beginning of this one. Radha. Bang. So, for those of you that can't hear, next time we do this, I promise we'll have some lyrics up on the screens for you. My apologies, but we're saying Radha and then Govindajai. Radha, 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 Govindajai. These are Hindu terms of spirit and nature.
Together, spirit and nature, dancing together.
Bringing your attention back to the room, back to the planet. Oh, let's hear for our Kirtan group. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Luke. It's good to see you all. I see Michelle. I spy with my little eye. Hey, thank you all for joining in this morning. I want to say thank you once again to everybody who helps set up here our Soul Squad. If you'd like to be a member of Soul Squad, drop us a line at info@soulcallglobal.org. And we've got, if you're interested in getting readings done, some spiritual readings, join us on Sunday. We have some people who are here who can help you to kind of get some clarity around some things that are going on. So join us at AIAM. Come a little bit early. We start at 10, but if you get here at 9:45 and then a little bit after, Linda and Jim will be here to help you. Linda and Jim will help you get dialed in. Linda and Jim will dial you in. Yeah. So sometimes we all need a little help with our friends, by our friends. So do that. And once again, this Wednesday from 7 to 8 p.m. Eastern. This Wednesday, the 21st, we will be at the Dempsey Events Center in the sanctuary. It's going to be a live meditation, a hybrid event. So if you're joining us, as many of you do from points further, you can get the link. It's the exact same link. It's just we and some of you are going to be there live streaming with a live kirtan meditation. So join us if you're able. It's donation based. We thank you for your contributions. Last week, I want to give, let's give another hand for our Soul Squad and everybody who donated to make our food drive another rousing success. We ended up giving away 80 bags filled with nourishing, delicious, healthy food. And as I said, some snacks. I found a little deal on Oreo cookies because there are some kiddos. There are lots of kiddos out there. You know, if you wonder if your contribution matters, I just want to tell you a little story. You know, we didn't have as much drive-through traffic, but the bags were kind of promised out already anyway. A friend shared a story about a family who is currently living in tents by the river because the mom realized she and her two children could either pay a down payment on rent, the first month, and security deposit on rent, and know that in 2 months they will be depleted of their savings and have to be thrown out anyway. So what they did instead was they went and bought camping gear so that they could live longer by the river outside. Okay, people in the United States have to make decisions like that. Our food helps them to take part of what they're challenged with out of the equation. So when we do our next fund drive, it's going to be for our SoulCall Santa, where we'll be making sure we get gifts and necessary items to families through the holidays. So that's coming up. You know, the save the date is November 30th for Jazz Up the Holidays. We won't have a graphic or anything. I'm just kind of going up. Jazz Up the Holidays. It'll be our 19th annual Jazz Up the Holidays concert. And this year we're going to be doing a silent auction too. So if you have ideas for a silent auction item you would like to donate, SoulCall Santa, it'll be in conjunction with our November 30th Jazz Up the Holidays at the McConnell Arts Center. And think about what you might be able to contribute as a silent auction item. Do you have a timeshare in some exotic place? Call me personally. I'll take care of that. I'll take care of that for you. But your contributions every Sunday help to keep us here in a space, help us to do the Dempsey Events Center, pay our bills. And thank you to Luke, not Luke. Thanks to Luke anyway. Yeah, he sends his contributions in. I want to thank Aiden, who does our live stream every Sunday, Natalia, who still helps us with the newsletter and creative team. Next week is a really big weekend. We are so excited to have our special guest, Reverend Christy Hardwick, is going to be right here in the house next week. She's rolling into town. She and her wife, Jane, are going to be here. And so next Sunday, Reverend Christy will do the talk, and she's going to be launching her book here in our area, Radical Self-Tenderness. And the book will be available. She'll be signing it and doing a workshop starting at 11:30 following SoulCall Sunday Live. So please mark your calendars and join us right here at AIAM, welcoming Reverend Christy Hardwick. We cannot wait to have you in town. So there's that. Once again, the Circle of Love gathering, people are starting to sign up already. We're very excited about it. It's coming up October 14th through the 16th, the Alchemy of Light, and it will be held at the Dempsey Event Center in Delaware. And more information at soulcallglobal.org or register at circleoflovegathering.com. All the information's there. If you have any questions, drop a line and we'll be happy to get you going. So thank you for that. See you Wednesday. If you're in need of prayer, please let us know. Please let us pray for you, with you. The prayers at soulcallglobal.org will do that. And our prayer team is connected to our healing team, and they send energy in different forms, Reiki and other forms of light energy along the invisible waves of love that help nourish the body. So let us pray with you and for you. And once again, thanking you for your donations. If you're in the room, donation baskets are in the back. We'll start passing them around again later, maybe, huh? Like take a piece of candy, drop some coin. So anyway, thank you for joining us. And the biggest thing you could be doing right now is creating that conscious global community, one human at a time. So let us know how we can help you to come more fully alive with a spiritual practice that you can depend on. And once again, wherever you are on the planet, you want to say it with me, always remember, you are loved. Peace and blessings.
One family, one people, one planet, one love, one family.